Hey, happy family. This is Pastor Don Rose and Pastor Kim Rose of Build Upon the Rock Marriage Enrichment Ministry. And we're back giving you six ideas to reconnect with your spouse for Valentine's Day, really before Valentine's Day. But 6 ideas to reconnect with your spouse before Valentine's Day. Number 1 was to do something new and engaging together.
Right.
Number 2 was to show affection. And number 3 is to make time to talk. Make time to talk. And here's the reality of this. If you don't make time to talk, you're not going to talk. If you want to have a good Valentine's Day, if you want there to be any chance of getting lucky at all, listen, you got to learn how to talk. You got to start the intimacy now.
Start it early.
You got to start it early. Because if you don't make time to talk, actually separate your schedule and put time in there to talk and communicate with your spouse, you probably won't do it. So why is this important? The reason this is important because this lets your spouse know that they matter. This lets them know that they matter every single day. When you take time to speak and talk and connect with your spouse every day, it lets them know that they matter every single day.
And I know for some people this might be a little bit challenging because, depending on your work schedules and things like that. But I think it's important to invest this time. So
That's right.
15 to 30 minutes is what we're talking about. Take 15 to 30 minutes of focused, intentional time.
Every day.
Technology free. You're not sitting on your phone or, looking and answering texts. Anybody's work needs to just stop for 15 to 30 minutes a day. That's all we're asking for. And I think that your spouse, if they know that this is coming, then and they know that you are taking this time, you're not going to be on your phone, you're not going to be chasing around the kids, that this is time that you're setting aside for them, that they'll feel valued.
And like she said, though, uninterrupted, a specified time just for your spouse, a time that you're not doing anything else at all but talking and listening. So it's not just talking, but it's talking and listening to your spouse 15 to 30 minutes a day.
And this is, like I said, we're trying to help you increase your intimacy.
That's right.
So maybe you already talk, so do this over and above.
Right. Over and
if
above
you're already easy to do 15 to 20 minutes, then let's do an hour, okay? Where we're just uninterrupted. So this is moving over and above. So pay attention, be curious while you're talking. Don't just be letting somebody else run their mouth and you're just sitting there like, when is my 15 minutes over? But be curious and pay attention. Be an active listener in this process. Like I said, don't just be waiting for the clock to tick down, but really allow this to be a time where you're engaging with your spouse.
Yeah, and ask questions too. It's so important. If you're having a conversation, if you want to actually have a real conversation, I'm convinced that many issues that we have in our marriages and our businesses and even spiritually issues we have with the Most High, it's because we don't ask enough questions, because we don't have real conversations. When the last time you had a real conversation with God? A real conversation with God. When's the last time you had a real conversation with your spouse? So this is very important right here. Listen, if they say something that you don't quite get, don't just let them keep going. Just stop them for a minute and say, you know what? I actually understand what you said. Can you say that again? I didn't get it, right? Because you want to pay attention. You want to be curious. You want to actually get what they're saying to you so you can learn them a little bit better. We're supposed to, the Bible says, men dwell with them according to knowledge. So how can you have knowledge on somebody if you don't listen? You have to listen, right? You have to listen. You have to listen. You have to listen.
Yes. And then don't forget what you talked about. So make sure that while they're talking, you're not thinking about something else.
Right.
So then when they ask questions later on, you actually remember this conversation. That's really important as well. And and I'm guilty of this. If you didn't hear it, say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you repeat that? Don't act like you heard it or think, well, I'll figure it out as they move along.
Yeah, because I'd be giving little quizzes and tests because I'd be like, I know she ain't listening. And so I'd be like, what I just say? She'd be like,
I don't know.
You said Merry Christmas. I didn't say Merry Christmas. That's not what I said. Right? So like she said, you got to pay attention.
Putting all our business in the street.
And remember what they actually said. And I'll tell you this too. You got to think about this. Speaking of Christmas, right? Christmas comes on the same exact day every single year. So you're telling me that in 365 days of daily listening, you never once heard one idea of what she or he may want for Christmas?
Or anniversary,
I mean,
or a birthday.
not once. If you're listening daily for 365 days, you're going to hear what that person wants for Christmas or what they want for their birthday. Or even if they don't necessarily want it, just something that they like, right? And see, but you only get that through listening, intentional listening, 15 to 30 minutes a day. Pay attention and don't forget what it is that they said.
And then lastly, 4 points of contact. Okay, so we want you to intentionally have a conversation, even if it's just quick, with your spouse, at least 4 times a day. What does that look like, Pastor Don?
Well, in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, right? That's a conversation. That's the first point of contact, the first point of communication when you wake up in the morning. So, how did you sleep? This is easy. You have any good dreams? You know, this is easy.
What's going on today?
What's going on today? What's on your schedule today, right? Just kind of connect first thing in the morning. There's always two places to connect in the morning when you're married and you're born again. You connect first with the master, then connect with your spouse every single morning. That's how you set the pace for the rest of your day.
Absolutely. And then the second point is before you leave, have a good day,
Right.
bye, a kiss goodbye.
Right.
This is a good time to add in that 20-second kiss or a hug that we talked about in the previous affection video. And so before you leave, somebody shouldn't just wander around. When did he go? I didn't even hear you leave the house. There should be an actual departure time.
Yeah, and this is not easy for me, by the way, because in the morning, it's like, Kim would be like, hi. And I've gotten used to it now, but I'm like, hi. I've been laying next to you all night, hi, but now I'm getting used to that level of communication. And even before your spouse leaves to go out for their day or you go out for your day, speak a blessing over their life, right? Speak life and speak health and speak peace over their life,
just
right?
something quick.
Yeah, just speak a blessing over them. Just grab and pray for them. The Lord bless her and keep her today. I speak wisdom and strength to you in the name of the Lord. Whatever you need to do. Just bless them real quick on their way out the door.
Bless them real good.
But bless them real good. That's the second point of communication in the day.
Okay, and then the third point is when you come home.
Right.
And I can understand not everybody's schedules are the same, but even if this contact is by phone, hey honey, I just got home. Let me tell you about my day. Right. Or when are you going to get home? Are you going to, what are we going to do for dinner? All of these are basic conversations that you can have. It doesn't have to be extreme, but make it intentional. Yeah. So 1, when you wake up, 2, before you leave, 3, when you get home or to get back together, and then 4, before you go to bed.
Before you go to bed too. And listen, and even on that third one, when you get back home or when they get back home or whatever, listen, when you do this daily, you begin to learn more and more about your spouse. You begin to see when they really did have a bad day, when something must have really happened that day, because now you know, because it's customary for you now to ask them how was their day, to talk to them, look them in the eye, and communicate with them when they come home from work or wherever they've been or school or whatever. So now you know something's going on. Now you know how to pray. Now you know to dig in a little bit deeper. Now you may know to back off a little bit, but the point is you'll know because now you've gained a new level of familiarity with them because you're asking them on a regular daily basis how they're doing. Then the last one, which is I could say first or second most important. So we're talking about in the morning and at night. These are the most important two, right? But at night, that's when you come back together. That's when you bring it all home. This is when you can talk about everything that's been going on throughout the whole day, where you can get together, you can have a little pillow talk, and we're going to talk about that one in another episode.
The next episode.
In the next episode, right? So there's 4 points of communication during the day. In the morning when you wake up, before you leave on your day, when you return home from your day, and then when you go to bed at night. Those are 4 points of communication that we must master. It's very, very, very important.
So that's it for this idea about making sure that we take time to talk. Please like, share, and subscribe. Put your comments in the comments. We'd love to hear how you communicate with your spouse or things that have worked for you, things that have not worked for you. All of those things will be helpful for somebody else. And again, stay tuned for the next tip, the next idea, which is to maximize that pillow talk time.
That's right. All right. Well, God bless y'all. We love you. We see you on the next time.
Bye, happy family.
Bye.